Now, because a Somali migrant has finally been deported, years and years of going through the criminal justice system after serious crimes, reportedly costing you and I £1 million in fees, legal fees and the like. So my big question is, should we deport foreign criminals once they've been convicted before or after serving the sentences? It's a really serious question. So I'm delighted to be joined now by Professor Anthony Glees, who is an intelligence and security expert on this. Anthony, look, when we hear these cases of people who've finished their sentences and then we can't deport them because of all sorts of appeals and human rights challenges and this and that at all of our expense, I mean, it drives the population quite rightly absolutely tonto, frankly. Why do we keep them here at all to serve their sentences? Why not just save a load of cash, save a load of prison spaces and send them straight back to where they came from day one when they're convicted, Anthony?
Well, I think the reason that people who've committed egregious crimes, as Mr. Ahmed had done, should serve their sentences in the UK is so that justice is not only done but can be seen to be done. He was accused of an awful rape together with two others. His victims would be appalled, I think, if he had been deported straight to Somalia and perhaps nothing would have happened to him there. So he would get off scot-free. We'd be paying his airfare. And those people who feel that he should have served time for the awful things that he did to them would feel extremely upset about that. So it's right that people should serve sentences here. What's not right in this particular case, which really is an awful case, he went through 24 tribunals and courts, and finally he was put on a plane in 2018. His fellow passengers made a fuss and forced the authorities to take him off the plane because they felt that he was being unfairly deported. That illustrates one problem here, which is there are a lot of people in this country who think they've got an opinion that's worth taking note of when actually they understand nothing. He didn't tell them he was being deported because he was a rapist. And they, interfered. The authorities seem to have backed off. And I think that's the second problem here, which is that...
But that was 5 years ago. Whatever those passengers on that plane may have thought, for it to go on another 5 years, I mean, the whole system is... It's in favour of the criminal and not us, the decent law-abiding citizens.
Well, I think that certainly people need to have a fair crack of the whip, but I think most people would say £1 million on somebody who's been convicted of rape is a bridge too far. And the other thing, though, is that the Home Secretary always used to have the power to deport people in this country whose presence was deemed by the Home Secretary to be unconducive to the public good. Well, Mr. Yaqub Ahmed is clearly somebody whose presence in the United Kingdom is not conducive to the public good. He was allowed to come here and granted asylum, as I think he was 15 years old or something like that. That was perfectly fair. But the moment he was convicted of rape, he should have been deported at once. There ought to be an automatic...
Anthony, I suspect I'm fascinated by viewers and listeners' thoughts on this. Really important. Do you think that actually they should be straight out the moment they're convicted or serve their time here, preferably full-time, not some sort of half-time, and then straight on the next plane out literally that day?
Yes,
Anthony, time is against us. I'm so grateful for your thoughts on that.